You don't, I mean, it's your responsibility to keep the house clean, but you don't always have to be the one doing the cleaning. You have a lot of responsibility. Like, even again, you can look at it as a CEO or a manager. They're the bottom line of how things should be or should be done, but it's not necessarily them doing every single tactical thing, right? They're more like a person who sets a standard, and then in order to make sure all these things are done. If your dog tired, my goodness, get a cleaning service. If you, again, there's an affordability element there, I get it. But there are also other things. As your children get older, they have to take on more responsibility. So their mom is not like some slave, dead and dying from tired housework all the time, and their job is just to be little slobs. There's a lot of things in there. And then again, the reason why women end up with those extra 15 hours, you're talking about a woman who works full time and then has house chores on top of working full time. If you want to have your own little money, that's fine. You don't have to do 40 hours a week. Do 10, and then the other 15 is your housework. Whatever it is, there's a balance that you have to come to. But I will never subscribe to that thing that we are two equal partners, and then and it's not 15, it's more than 15 if you're going to do it well. 15, 20 hours on top of no, I don't subscribe. That doesn't even sound appealing. I don't want that.
That sounds like slave labor.
Yeah, it does not sound appealing at all. But you have to face the facts that when people, I say this all the time, when people come into a filthy house, they don't think, oh man, that husband nasty. They're always going to think it's the woman that's nasty.
Right.
Because again, whether we like it or not, it's in the back of our mind that that's her job, that's her responsibility. The same thing is if a family goes bankrupt or they lose their house, they're going to say, oh, she's so irresponsible. No, if she has a husband, they're going to think, wow, he really messed up. Because again, somewhere in the back of our minds, we know that's his bottom line. That's his responsibility. So you kind of have to balance those things where maybe he takes more of the lion's share of the provision, and she takes more of the lion's share of the keeping the home and the peace and the beauty and all of this other stuff and the children and all of that stuff. But it doesn't mean, somebody's going to whack her over the head if she tries to get a little job or a little business or a big business, whatever it is. My program, the M3 program, is the reason why I always say it's always in that order: marriage, motherhood, and money making. It's because you're allowed to explore your creativity, your passions, your whatever. You're allowed to make money. You're allowed to grow a business, even a big business, just as long as you keep everything in perspective. And that money making effort doesn't start to overtake your marriage. It doesn't start to overtake your responsibilities to your children and your duty to your home and your household. But that whole thing about a woman has to work the hardest and be dog tired and sick. Black women have fibroids, blood pressure, heart disease, all of these things. And it's because of that mindset that we have to take on extra or take on more. And I say no. It's a no. No.
Yeah.
No.
It's a partnership and you work together for sure. It's not that. I think sometimes if you haven't seen the model to you, sometimes it's hard to grasp. But when you've seen it, then it makes sense. But you haven't seen it, then it's like, wow, I can't do this. But it's absolutely something that, again, it's a sacrifice. You work together.